I chose the Warren Smith Ski Academy Gap course purely because I did quite a lot of research between the different courses that I could do online. I actually attended a ski academy course for a week last year in the summer to see if it would work and see how the summer terrain was. And the coaches kind of just bought it for me, to be fair. That their style of teaching, their enthusiasm and their personalities really made it what it is.
I was actually booked on 2 other courses. I had a job offer that came through which meant I didn't go to the one in Canada. And I'm really glad I didn't actually, because this one's been really, really good. But I was booked on one later in the summer, but I wanted to come on this one because it's really nicely timed. It starts in July, finishes in September. So it means that I'm qualified by the time that the ski schools are taking applications for instructors over the winter.
I knew I wanted to work in the winter, so trying to find a summer gap course was more of a priority. So I looked for ones in New Zealand and in Argentina and things like that. But I wanted to stay in Europe, and Warren had a good reputation and stuff, so I went along with that.
Well, the dates fitted in very nicely with where my school finishes for the exams and then goes back into school. So as soon as our school finished, I came out here, and then I'm going home on the 4th of September and we go back to school on the 6th, so it fits quite nicely in the school holiday.
I really fancied doing a ski season, and doing the summer one meant that I could be fully trained and qualified and ready to go for the winter season.
I chose the Warren Smith Ski Academy because it has a great reputation across Europe. Warren's a top guy, renowned throughout the sort of European snow sport industry. It's great socially, and in terms of coaching it's sort of first class, so you can't really go wrong with it.
I picked this course because of the technical content. It looks a lot more sort of techie than some of the others. The instructors were the ones that were training you. They wasn't bought in from elsewhere. It was actually the academy that did it. That's the reason that I chose this course, in particular the summer course as well.
Over the whole 9 weeks, it's sort of split up into different periods. Obviously the first week the coaches use that to assess the group's overall ability, and the group then gets split up into different groups depending on their abilities. Moving
on to the second week, we had our level 1 exam where the basic instructors came out. They were really cool.
And then the following week you spend shadowing the Warren Smith instructors, just seeing how they do lessons and how they organise themselves, which is really, really interesting actually.
And then weeks 3 to 3 onwards to about week 7 is what we're on now, is just hammering performance like all the time. So you're just doing sort of short radius turns, long radius turns, but just working on technique over and over and over. And I think probably the technique levels that we're working to are a lot higher actually than the basic 2 qualification that we're going for at the end. But you've obviously got to be, you've got to be better than the requirement. There's no use just scraping through.
On week 8, our Basie trainer arrived, which was a huge amount of excitement, and we started getting into proper serious work and assessments.
The other aspects of the course are we did a mountain safety course which involved avalanche training, digging, ice pits and snow caves.
The day we were up, it was actually the day when it was dumping down without a metre of snow. So we did a lot of work, and it was quite good to actually have a metre of fresh snow in the middle of the summer to actually do some work like trying to find avalanche transceivers and stuff like that, and the sort of probing for bodies and things.
We also did a first aid course, which was extremely fun, out in the garden and the glacier, and we learned our ABCs, airways, breathing and circulation.
And that consisted of basic CPR and mountain safety and problems you might come across as a ski instructor.
2 days going over scenarios, going really, really in depth with like what happens, more mountain specific rather than just general first aid, which has been really useful for me as a teacher because obviously I've done first aid before. It was just another level to it, and it was really good.
There was a huge amount of content. It was provided by the British Association of Ski Patrollers, and it literally just covered everything, and we just did loads of scenarios and all that sort of stuff. And so much so that you see people crash around the mountain, and you feel like you'd be comfortable dealing with it. So it's really good.
We do video analysis twice a week. to make sure that we can see what we look like, and we can see the improvements that need to be made. It's very in-depth. The coaches sit there with you with a pen and paper, and there's quite a lot of things that come out of your video that you can work on the next day.
It's quite good because it starts us thinking from the feet upwards about people's performance.
It's nice also because the coaches are there with you and they're giving you sort of individual feedback. They spend a good sort of 5-10 minutes on each person. So yeah, it's really effective to sort of write down on your notepad and then take it up the next day and work on things that you've been told that you need to work on.
It's such a good tool because you can never see how you're skiing yourself, and whilst you can be told that you're doing something wrong, to actually physically see it, again, you've got to start to get your head round where the sort of tweaks to your performance matter.
There is a massive range to the age group, firstly, of the people on the course. I think we've got someone who's 53 and someone as young as 16 who is like straight average GCSEs, which is quite interesting, especially for me.
A good mix of female, male, also age range from 16 up to me. So again, you're not necessarily too young. I mean, people that might think 16 is too young, but I personally don't, otherwise we wouldn't be here. And also, you can teach an old dog new tricks, actually.
Saas-Fee in general is a really nice place to be. I think after being here for 9 weeks, we've kind of worked out our usual kind of proceeds between the weekends. But like I said, there's a lot of walkers around, as well as there's loads of bars around and things like that you can go to. There's a pool hall that we usually attend, which is quite fun. Get a bit of money on the table. There's a few bars that do like poker nights and things like that as well. So there's loads of stuff to do in Saas-Fee. And like I said, when it's sunny, it's just brilliant.
Summer in Saas means you can, once you've finished your skiing, you can go down to the village and it's 25 degrees. And you can sit around and there's a number of options, like you can go play golf, you play volleyball, you go for a walk, you can go climb a mountain.
By night also, there's quite a few fun places to go to, if I can call them that. One place in particular, the Alpen Bar, is a frequent visit by many of us. Lots of us end up there on a Friday or a Saturday night.
I'd say we have the afternoons off normally, so there's a lot of activities to do. Mini golf is quite a high priority for a lot of days, quite good fun. Play volleyball, there's a luge ride, which is just like a toboggan that goes from a great height, and tennis. Yeah, there's a lot of sporting activity that can be done if you're scouting it out. Even like hiking or those kind of things are all on in Saas-Fee.
Summer in Saas means you can, once you've finished your skiing, you can go down to the village and it's 25 degrees, and you can sit around and there's a number of options, like you can go play golf, you play volleyball, you go for a walk, you can go climb a mountain. Majority of the time we go and get a crate of beer and just sit on someone's balcony and just suntan, which is pretty good. But you know, there's plenty to do. But that's the beauty of it. You come up here and there's just like snow everywhere, and then you go down the bottom and it's sort of green fields and flowers and sort of rivers and stuff, and it's really, really nice.
There are 2 accommodation options for the Gap course. The first is the Hotel de Glacier, which is the 4-star hotel. This is the hotel where all the coaches and Warren himself is based. The other option is the Hotel Dom, which is about 50 yards away from the Hotel de Glacier, which is a 3-star hotel, but is equally as nice, comfortable.
There's the de Glacier and the Dom. I'm staying in the Dom purely because it's slightly cheaper, but we eat all our meals in the de Glacier, which is really nice. It's a really nice place to be. The staff are really friendly there, and they're really able to help you whenever you've got a problem, so it's really good.
I chose the de Glacier because I thought it looked a bit nicer. In hindsight, both are actually really nice hotels, and I wouldn't have minded staying in either. The staff in the de Glacier are really, really nice. They're always very helpful, and they all learn your name pretty quick. The rooms are quite nice. I'm sharing a twin room, so it's quite a lot of space. I was really impressed by the wardrobe space. Cheered me up a bit. We've all got flat screen TVs and DVDs to rent whenever for free, so that's good too.
We actually have our evening meals in the Glacier, so we still manage to stick with the team, and I think that's quite important that they have that arrangement, that you all come together at least at one point socially during the whole sort of period that you're here. And the people in both hotels are very friendly, very accommodating.
The highlights of the course were passing the 2 BASI exams, meeting new and good friends actually, which I can take on. We'll take it on to further life. Alpen Pub, the local pub, is the winner of the whole experience. And yeah, it's just been probably the greatest time of my life so far actually.
My highlights of the course so far has probably been the skiing. Obviously the level of coaching, the level that the coaches expect you to get at. I think coming on the course, I thought, I had a picture in my head of what I wanted to look like, what things I wanted to gain from it, and they've just completely smashed that, and we've gone straight through it because they have just literally pushed you until you can get the best of what you can do, which has been a massive highlight, because there's never a moment where you're ever get into a situation where I'm getting a little bit bored, or there's always something else to do to make yourself look better.
The highlights of the course have been mainly improving so much. Like you feel there's definitely peaks and troughs with these things, but it's been really enjoyable, and it's always good when you've had a problem even if it's only been for a few days, and then they've just turned around and just completely gone away from it. It's like, that's fixed, draw a line under it. That's always really satisfying to get quite a quantified improvement.
Had 2 main highlights on this course. One of them was up the mountain on a day with Scouse, one of the coaches, and things just clicked. I got to the bottom of the run and he just said yes, rather than shaking his head like usual. So that was a big highlight. I just felt like things had come together finally and I was getting somewhere really good. Another highlight for me was when I went on a bit of a hike with some of the guys. We went up just about an hour or so away up the mountain and we found the most amazing waterfall, and we just chilled out there for a while. It was really, really good.
The highlight for me is more just the skiing. Like I just love it. I actually had a little sort of question in my mind as to whether I would actually still love it after 9 weeks of skiing, but I now know that I absolutely do, and it's just to ski every day and just get better and better and better. And now I feel like I'm skiing with absolute total control all the time, anything I do, and it's such a good feeling. It really is.
I would definitely recommend the Warren Smith Gap Year course. It's a whole lot of fun. You get 2 great qualifications out of it for life, which can take you anywhere in the world. It's just, you meet some fantastic people, friends that you're going to stay in contact with for years to come, and it just sets you up in great stead for sort of a skiing career. Basically, it's awesome.
I'd definitely recommend it to someone else, purely just for the experience of being able to ski. Like, a lot of people only ski for a week at a time, a year. To be able to ski for 9 weeks and live that kind of lifestyle is amazing.
It's the right mix of being fun and learning so much. I don't think I've learned as much in a single 9-week span as I have here. It's just, when you get a group of people who actually want to learn or are so interested in it, it makes it so much easier and you can take in so much more. It's really worthwhile doing.
It's, for me, incredibly technical, but I've also had a great time. But you learn about why skiing works rather than just skiing and getting qualification. I'm so glad I did the BASI one. I'm so glad I did it in Europe. I'm so glad I did it with the Warren Smith guys, because if I'd have gone to some of the other ones that I looked at, I think I would have been disappointed. But this has just been immense. It really has.
I would definitely recommend this course to someone else because I've just had such an amazing summer. Something I'll never forget, and yeah, I think everyone should go do it.